Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith 1117, our solve count. That's 1000 plus Spartan John's number from Halo. Where are we going? It's a great question. Bricky, loopy, difference, watchtower. Let's go to difference. Where is that going to be? Is that over here? Yeah. 9 puzzles over here. Some that I feel like I must have looked at and gone, ooh, don't know what I'm doing with this. 6, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 7, 4, 6. Alright, this 4. I hate it. I remember it and I hate it. This I must be able to do. This doesn't feel like it should be too bad. So what we've got before we jump in, it's just difference and shape bank. And the shape bank has the 2 3s, which are stumpy or straight and angled, and then these 2 4s. So we know on all zeros, we know it's 3 equals 3, or 4 equals 4, and all the ones, it's 4, 3. So that's what we're working with within all of this. So we can start here. This, well, okay, no. I was going to say this is either, it can't be the long 3. It can't be the long 4. So it's either the 3 or that 4. It's one of those 2 shapes, right? So that must be a line. Actually, that's not true, because that can go that way and that could do that. All right, where's our in then? Where are we starting? That's a great question. I'm wondering about this here. How we're gonna... It would either be something like 3 3 3 or 3 3 3 or 4 4 4 4. And like, I could keep working on that until I hit a roadblock, but I've got nothing to suggest that that is correct, you know? This guy is pretty confined, as is that one. Unless we can find the longest chain of possible moves. So that's a 4. That's another 4. That's quite long. Maybe that's where we start looking. There's also that one as well. Are they exact opposites? So we've got 1 1 0 0 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 0. So they are. I don't know if one side's going to have 3s in the spot and the other's going to have 4s in the equivalent spots, perhaps. If this was a 3, this would have to be a 3. This would have to be a 4. This would have to be a 3. Therefore, those could be together. And if this was a 4, that would be a 4. That would be a 3. That would be a 4. That would be a 4. That would be a 3. That would be a 3. If this was a 4 that had to get out, it would have to be that one. And that can't exist because it can't cross over this corner where the result is going to be 0 and 1 of a different number. So that's good. I think that gives us a start. Because this can't be the other 4. It just doesn't fit there whatsoever. So therefore, this has to be a 3. And working off of that, this has to be a 3. This has to be a 4. This has to be a 3. This has to be a 4. This has to be a 4. This has to be a 4. So if this is going to be a 3, sandwiched between the 4s, it's got to do that. That's got to come out to there. That's got to go up to there. Then this has to be a 3. This has to be a 4, which means that has to do that, and that breaks. Okay, it's not that. Damn. I already thought we were on to something smooth then. Right, get rid of this, and let me reassess this tile. If this was a 4, the only 4 it could be would be that one, which it can't, because that can't be both. Therefore, this is definitely a 3, which means this is definitely a 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 and 3. Oh, did I screw that up earlier? I think I screwed that up earlier. I don't know how I did the counting wrong, but this seems more correct. So, this 3 can't do that because we can't have the 4 exist over there. This 3's got to get out. We know that much. So this is a 3. And this is a 4. Which means that gets a line. If this goes left, then this has to be a 4. It has to take this tile. It would have to do that, which would go across a corner, which it can't. Therefore, I think this has to go this way and become a 3. We also therefore know 4 and 4. This 3 has to get out. That's a line. All right, I think we have cracked our way into this puzzle. It's now just how do we expand from here responsibly? Well, this has to get out, which is going to go to there, which means this is a 4. Sorry. 4 minus 1. This is a 3. This is a 4. Which means this must take that. And this is going to be a 3, which means this is 3, and this is 3, and this is 4, and this is 4, and this is 4, and this is 3. You go there, get a line. You go up to there. Whether you take that corner or not yet, we do not know. You have to go up. What next? Well, We don't know who this belongs to yet, but it has to be a 4. Because if that goes that way and that goes that way, we can't squeeze a 3 into here. So if that's a 4, that means this is a 3. This is a 4. This is a 4. Again, not sure who is absorbing who out of this equation, but that's what we have. That's going to be a line. What else do we have for certain? It's got to be something somewhere. Okay, this guy here might take this one, but cannot take that one. Therefore, this must take that one. Whether it goes for... Oh, that's not in the shape bank. So, I up to this point, I kind of forgot about shape bank, to be honest. So that's going to go there. Might take that. Might take that. So that's an unknown. This could either go left or right, but it means that this is going to get a line. This could still go right or up. What else? I'm so glad that I'm still finding puzzles that are kind of right within my wheelhouse of needs logic. I can find the logic. The mechanics are the ones that I enjoy, and I'm not just hitting my head against a wall. We're just slowly unpicking it piece by piece. But what next? It's a great question. Can't see any tiles that we haven't accounted for who crosses a boundary yet. This could do this. That's in the shape bank. Therefore, that's also in the shape bank. This is in the shape bank. This is in the shape bank. Okay, this 4. Can't do this, trapping in this, because that would be a 3 where a 3 is not allowed. It says that it's fine, but that's because we haven't finished this 4 yet. So it can't do that because that traps in the 3 as well. It can't do that because if this 4 goes up, we can't have a 1 boundary across it. So I think this tile has to do this. Is there any reason it can't do that? Or am I being daft? I don't see any reason why it can't take that one. I don't know what I was thinking there. If this 3 goes up, this 3 has to do that. This has to be a 3. This would have to get out. Now we're just really on a long chain, aren't we? This has to be a 3. Or that way. that's just colouring in, honestly. And we can't finish this out. There's no way to do the two sides of this, so that's just a bunch of unsuccessful colouring in. Let's call it what it is. This 4 has to get out. I need a new piece, a new thread to pull somewhere. Oh, okay. Here's one. This 4. If all the numbers that I've written are correct, which I'm assuming they are because I've penciled them in as we've gone, this 4 has to get out somewhere. And it can't do this. So this 4 has to come out this way and then do this or this. Can't do that, it blocks that in, so that's a 4. Which means that's the 3. And then we can pencil in some more numbers here. So that's 4, that's 3, that's 3, that's 4. This 3 has to get out. That's 4. This 4 has to get out that way. That's 4, that's 4. That 3 is straight. That's a 4. To get out of this corner, it either has to be that or that, but that blocks in that one as a 1. So that's a 4, that's a 4. I hope all that's right too. That means this 4 has to get out up here. And I hate that because how do we resolve this corner? I can't leave that there. Oh dear. Did I mess up over here somehow? Oh. No, that's what I did, isn't it? That's as far up as that can reach. Oh dear. Right. Ratchet back until we get back to this guy. So, I was happy up to here. I can't remember which piece of logic was my very first piece of logic, but I was happy up to here. Did I do this when I perhaps could have done that? Perhaps. So we decided this couldn't do this. And so I just assumed that this was going to be it, didn't I? Because it couldn't do that, but it could do that, but it could do this. So if it's this instead, let's just start seeing how this goes. This is a 4. This is a 3. This 3 gets out. This is 3. This is 3. This is 4. Then this has to go 1, 2. That's the 3. That's the 4. This is a 4 and this is a 4. And then the same thing is true about how this resolves. Can't do that. So it has to be this and this. But now we have a corner we can get around here. So that feels better. That feels like not all hope is suddenly lost or anything. So this 3 has to get up, which means this is a 3, which means that 4 has to go out that way, which means this is a 3, and this 4 has to get out. This 3 has to get out. This is a 4. What's next? You can go to there or here. Can't do that, because if this goes over like that, then that becomes a 4. Does that break this? Three, 4, 4, 3, 4. It doesn't. I can resolve it like that. Do I trust that? There's a great question. I don't think so, because if that's a 4, a 3 can't fit in there. If that's a 3, this can't be a 4. So undo a bunch of that. So that was going up, that's a 3. I don't remember how I drew you in. You're fine. You must go up there. Not going to check progress, even though I would love to at this point, just to make sure I haven't made a mistake somewhere way far behind, but we're okay. So, these 3s must go up. This can go here or here. That 4 could do that, which would make a 3. And a 3. Can't do a 3 and a 4 on the other, both sides of this, though. Right, I don't see a good logic resolution for this corner right now. Can't do 4, 3, 3. That doesn't work. Four, 3, 3, 3, 4. Can we do anything down here to then work clockwise around instead? It's a great question. This is to either here or here. Let's start with the right. Then this would have to do this, which makes this a 3. That would have to get out. No, sorry. What am I doing? This is a 4. I could do that. And then we could just do 3, 3, 3, 3 out of there. Can't do that, though. Is there any way that I can do 4s out of this? Can't do that. This 4 here does not want to resolve, does it? Alright, if we go back then to that resolving that way. If that goes to the left, that's got to be a 4. That's got to be a 4. That can't leave a 2. So that would be a 4. Then if we did 4 and 4 and 4, 3 can't resolve. We did 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 and 4, that can't resolve. Four and 4, hello. Three, 4. 3, 3. Please tell me this resolves. Please tell me this resolves. How can we do all that and it still be wrong? 4. 3, 4, 3, 3. No. Right, stop colouring in. Actually count the numbers. This has to get out. Which means this has to get out and go there. Which means this is a 3 and this is a 4. If this does this, there's no way this 4 can exist. So that's a 3. One, 2, 3, 4. No. Please tell me I haven't screwed this up right at the end. Three goes down to 4. 4 goes down to 3. 4 is 4. This 4 can't. This 3 must get out. Which means that 4 must go over here. That means this go 4, 3, 4. If this goes up, this one space over here can't exist. So that goes over. Yes! I'm so happy with that solve. I'm so happy with that solve. Little rushed at the end where I should have just counted rather than scooching my way around thinking I was fine, but to do the decide whether this goes this way or this way and then climb our way up clockwise to resolve this in a way because I couldn't find the way that made this work the other way around. I'm very happy with that, and I could click the clear notes button, or I could just enjoy scribbling them all out and enjoying the fruits of my mind labours. Alright, that was a half hour. That was a solid puzzle for now. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.